Going. All right. Well, welcome. My name is Christy Leskovac. Ah, we got a little double action here. But my name is Christy Leskovac. I am the director of an executive team in Kansas City area. And I am super excited that our team has been doing these Zoom parties, these Zoom demos. And I was saying a little bit before we got started that it's just been super fun. It kind of brings back the days of the cooking shows. But in today's day and age, we just can't have 20 women in the house eating and chatting and laughing together, unfortunately. So we're going to do it virtually, right? So welcome to my kitchen counter. Here's what we're doing tonight. Tonight we're featuring one of my favorite products. This is our Pampered Chef Pressure Cooker, the electric pressure cooker. And this is our quick cooker is what we call it. In this chat, if you have a pressure cooker, comment, let us know. If you have the Pampered Chef one, let us know you have the quick cooker. Now, I will say, I've never owned a pressure cooker before Pampered Chef came out with one, and I am in love with this. People ask me all the time, what makes it different? And I'm like, well, I've never had another one, but I can tell you what people have told me. People rave over this. I've had hosts and customers that have sold their other one to get this. So that's all I can tell you. I can tell you one of the main differences. Well, first of all, let's just talk a little bit about what pressure cooking is. Pressure cooking is a fast way to get food done, even from frozen. I haven't done it as much from frozen as I do from fresh, just because that's just kind of how we shop. I probably go to the grocery store way too often, right? But the idea with pressure cooking is you need to have liquid. It comes to a very high temperature very quickly, so it's cooking faster, which means you're going to retain the nutrients more than if you're cooking over the stove or in the oven, which is kind of crazy. Now, with the pressure cooking, because it gets so hot, there is a locking feature that happens when it's building pressure, and you can't open the lid until the pressure is released. So here's one of the biggest differences between ours and the other ones on the market. This is where the hot steam comes out. And this is where I push to release that steam. The ones on the market, unless they've changed something in the last 6 months or so, the ones on the market, the release knob is right here next to where the hot steam comes out. I know this because for years, people have been saying, these are the best for releasing the steam from my blankety blank, right? Because I see some heads nodding. Because when the steam is released, right there where your finger is to release the steam, that's painful, right? So that you no longer need to use this. You can just use your finger because there's a lot of space. The other thing that I have heard people talk about is the edge, right around the edge here. There's a little bit wider than the one that they have. I've had people tell me before they don't even like to use theirs anymore because there's so much like crud that they can't get into to get it good and clean, okay? So we're gonna get done with some of these mechanics and we're gonna start cooking. But the other thing is there's a silicone ring that comes with it. This you wanna make sure you have. This is actually one of the replacement ones. It'll come with a clear one. And we have a set of rings. It's black and turquoise, so it comes in a set of 2, and you can take and interchange them, right? And they are dishwasher safe. So make sure that inner ring is there because that's going to help to create that pressure that you need. Okay, so let's start cooking. This is a recipe called turkey and wild rice soup. Delicious. We're actually using some leftover pulled pork that we have, so really any meat that you have. We did this after Thanksgiving with our leftover turkey. So if you're one that does a traditional turkey, maybe over Christmas, the leftovers, this is perfect for, or you can just get a turkey breast and heat it up, or if you've got some beef or whatever, you can do that. So comment in the chat, let us know, are you the traditional holiday dinner, or do you have a special tradition that you guys do? Let us know in the chat. And then Paul will kind of let me know when that, what's going on there. So let me show you. I told you we're doing the cake. This is our batter bowl. Love it. This is the bowl that I use to mix the cake mix, but I'm just going to use it for my scraps tonight. And I'm just using our serrated peeler just to finish peeling the carrots. The thing that's great about this peeler is, do you see the serration on there? It's like serrated on both the top and the bottom, and it swivels. So it's great for peeling all kinds of things. And you know what, Paul? I just realized I need a couple of stalks of celery from the basement refrigerator. Thank you. You ever do that? You try to have everything out, and then I just now dawned on me that I totally forgot to run down and get those stalks of celery. So traditional Jody. So this is, you know, if you do a traditional recipe, you can even do ham. If you're like a ham family, this would be great. Really anything. You got veggies, you got rice, and if you could even make this vegetarian too. So this is our crinkle cutter. Who has the crinkle cutter? Anybody have the crinkle cutter? Y'all, this is one of the first things I got when I attended my first Pampered Chef show. And that was like back in 1992. I was a senior in college, and I loved this thing. It had a wooden handle, and it was straight across the edge instead of rounded. But this is called our crinkle cutter. And all I'm gonna do here is crinkle cut. And you can see, I can take and do both of these carrots at once. And I'm just doing kind of some thin pieces. Now, if you notice, these carrots are pretty huge, so I'll probably need to take and cut some of these in half, right? But anybody have the crinkle cutter? Who has the crinkle cutter? Let us know if you have the crinkle cutter. What other kind of things can you use the crinkle cutter for? Anybody? See, I have my chat guy over there getting some celery ready for me, so if you want to unmute, you can totally unmute. Let me know what it is that you use your crinkle cutter for. I can totally just share with you what I use it for. Carrots for sure. And let me just tell you, let me just show you, if you haven't seen the crinkle cutter, if you take your carrot and do it kind of at an angle like this, back in the olden days, they didn't have these at the store. Now they sell bags of carrot chips, but they didn't used to have these in the store. So I just kind of think Pampered Chef's the one that gave them that idea, because when we first were married, I was a freshman in college, so I was 19, I didn't cook at all. And people would say, hey, Christy, you want to bring the vegetable tray? Because they knew I didn't cook, right? Or I'd volunteer to bring the paper goods or the vegetable tray. And let me just tell you, after I had this gym, I was like, a beautiful vegetable tray is what I would bring, because everything was all pretty like this. Oh, thanks, honey. And the great thing about it is it's quick and easy to do. Did you see how quick it was for me to do these? And the nice thing also is that the dip stayed on better, because it's got those little ridges, right? So the nice thing about the crinkle cutter, very quick, you can use this on potatoes, you can use this on cucumbers, you can use this on zucchini, really any kind of vegetable, hence the beautiful vegetable tray, right? And cheese. Cheese is one of those things, again, that they didn't used to sell crinkle cut cheese, and now they do. But of course, it costs you a little bit more when you're buying it already crinkle cut. And this thing I think is like, I don't know, 12 bucks, 10 bucks, something like that. But this is a great tool. I love it. I use it often. I think we have enough carrots. So now I'm going to take and do a couple of celery sticks. Okay, so let me know, Paul, what do we have? Some traditional? Do we have some things besides traditional that people do for?
A couple of traditionals. There we go.
Huh?
That's only have 3 traditionals.
3 traditionals. Okay, so I will say over the years, like when our oldest was born 2 days after Christmas, so I was huge pregnant that year. But we are usually more traditional at Christmas. But there have been times over the years when we had our second one and they were 19 months apart. So we had 2 under 2. That year, I think that's when we did the breakfast burritos. Like we did breakfast burritos on Christmas brunch where my mom and dad came over and everybody came over, which is kind of fun. And then wasn't there one year that we did Mexican, it seems like? I don't know. I think you could do Mexican any day of the week because it's kind of my favorite food group. Is it food group? It's my favorite type of food for sure. So we've got this going. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead on the quick cooker. I didn't mention this earlier, but there are a lot of preset settings. I want to say there's like 15 let's see, 8, there's 14 pre-programmed settings on that quick cooker, and there's a custom. So really you have so many opportunities to do a lot of different things. But one of the pre-programmed settings is the sear. So let me plug this bad boy in. And I didn't have it plugged in. I took the lid off so you didn't hear the little R2D2 sound, right? So I'm just gonna pour a little oil in, a little olive oil, because we're gonna start by sauteing these vegetables. So I'm just gonna put it on that sear. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna turn the knob and then push this button over here and it gets it going. Now, there is a glass lid that comes with this because one of the settings is a slow cooker setting. So that glass lid allows you to put that on there instead of the pressure cooker because you're not building pressure and you can actually see what's going on. And there is even a little, hole in that glass lid. You guys are kind of seeing my junk drawer. It's not really a junk drawer. It's full of Pampered Chef amazing tools. But the thermometer we have, this can fit down in that hole in that slow cooker lid into the meat, and you can just push that button and see what the temperature is anytime you walk by. So it's kind of sweet too, a little perk. So let me scoot this over. Now, if y'all been to a cooking show of mine where we've used an onion, you may have heard the onion trick. Who knows the onion trick? The root end of the onion, you know that trick? Anybody comment? So, if you have a recipe that only calls for like a half of an onion, most people, what do? They cut both ends off and then they cut the onion in half or in quarters, right? Ah, Polly. My husband knows the onion trick. He's a good cook. He's the one that cooked when we were first married, and I didn't really know how. He would joke and call me the queen of appetizers because I loved those kind of foods. And you know, what did you do? You put them on especially when I got a stone because I wouldn't burn things, right? But anyway, most people cut that end off, and that is called the root end of the onion. And even though I'm using the very last part of the onion, I'm still not gonna cut that up because that's where all the juices are. That's really what really smells up the refrigerator, smells up the trash can, and all that. Now, if you like that smell, then cut that bad boy off, right? So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna put the onion on my little board because I'm going to use our food chopper. This is a classic. This model came out in 1999, and it's amazing. The one prior to that was amazing too, but it got even better. But you can see what happens every time you push. That blade is rotating, so you're getting a nice even chop. When the kids were little and they would be so frustrated, pound on something, get the frustrations out, right? And be productive at the same time. Now, the nice thing here is, if I want it smaller, I just keep chopping. On those stressful days, my items might have been a little more fine, right? But I'm just gonna take this, scoop that out. This is top rack, dishwasher safe, all the pieces. This opens wide open so you can rinse it out, get it nice and clean. Who has a food chopper? Comment if you have a food chopper.
Nicole has one from 2000.
2000. See? So Nicole, I mean, I have two because I'm going to be using one for cons later.
Connie has one too.
What?
Connie has one too.
Connie has one. Carrie probably has one, I think.
So we share.
Awesome. Lots of them. Lots of them. So we got nice sizzling. Now here's the thing that I like about sauteing my vegetables, or even just a little bit of garlic. I should put my garlic in first. Let me do that right now. Is when you are using the sear on your quick cooker, before you actually pressurize it and start it, then it's gonna be a little quicker to come to pressure. So our garlic press, I'm thinking a lot of you already have a garlic press, or maybe like me, you have 2 or 3, but you don't have to peel your garlic first. Let me get my little bowl here. You don't have to peel your garlic first. You just take the little cleaning tool. I did a demo the other day and somebody was surprised, didn't realize that the cleaning tool fits right inside the handle, okay? The cleaning tool also goes down the disposal pretty easy. So just make sure that when you throw it in the sink, you put it in a bowl or you make sure you just rinse it off and throw it right in your dishwasher utensil cabinet, okay? So let me get that right off here. So the nice thing about not having to peel first is that it's a lot quicker. A lot of people over the years have told me, oh, I just use the minced garlic. And I would say, well, why? And they think it's easier. And I'm like, I don't even have to walk over to my refrigerator. I just open up my cabinet here, take out my prep bowl, and press my garlic. I don't have to peel it or anything. And some people are under the misconception that you should store your garlic in the fridge, and that's not true. You're going to get the biggest bang for your buck when you store it in a dry, dark place, okay? So there's another little tip for you. I'm just going to put this in here. I'm actually going to go ahead and even put some of our seasonings in. Just a little more olive oil in. I had it heating up a little too much, so I'm going to add a little more olive oil. Okay. We love our salt and pepper mill. Anybody use the salt and pepper mill? The best thing about these, first of all, they look beautiful, but they're so easy to fill. Has anybody had salt and pepper mill? Especially the pepper part, you have to open it up. I used to have to use a funnel to stick between that post that would stick up. But now look at that. I just open this up, pour it in, and screw it on. And it's great. This is our peppercorn medley and our coarse sea and Himalayan salt. And those are available in our pantry line. And then I'm going to put some Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire. However you say that. It's right here. But this is our little mini Easy Read cup. This is a great measuring cup because if you notice, I'm not having to squat or kind of lean back. I can just see the measurement that I have as I'm pouring it in. This is the smallest. It's just a 4 tablespoon or 1/4 of a cup. We have other ones as well. Oh, I just dropped some onion in that one. But it's a 4 cup, a 2 cup, and a 1 cup. So these are great. I use these all the time. I use them when I was making my cake. I like to use coconut oil instead of vegetable oil when I'm baking. And if you have like an unrefined organic, it doesn't really taste coconutty, but it has a nice sweetness to it. These are microwave safe too. So if you use coconut oil, it's a little chunky, so you can take it, put it in the microwave, make sure you have the right measurement, and then use that. So that is what we use. So I got this sauce in. I'm going to put this over here so I know I got it in. You notice how I'm kind of moving things around after I get it in? Now, this is our herb de Provence. I love it, Carrie. I know just ordered it because I used it in a dip the last time. I love this. And this recipe is one that I found online. So I didn't mention this, but all of our appliances, including our quick cooker, come with a great cooking guide, lots of recipes, and also charts in the front. Charts for your beans and legumes, for your rice and your grains, for your vegetables. You have a chart for your meats, and this is where it has like from fresh and from frozen, right? But here's the thing. After Thanksgiving, when we had this leftover turkey, when we were talking about the soup to make, we were having rice soup over here, and we were like, ooh. I was like, how about like turkey and wild rice? So I just Googled turkey and wild rice soup in a pressure cooker, in an electric pressure cooker, and it popped up. So you're not limited to the recipes in the book, although they are delicious. You can pretty much find anything on the interweb these days, right? So, any questions, anything going on in the chat? Let me grab one thing real quick and grab pull out. Who knows what these are? Comment in the chat if you know what these are. Anybody? I can tell you that what's in their name is not what we're doing right now.
Connie wins. Salad chopper.
Connie, good job. Salad choppers.
But we got a whole bunch of other winners.
Lots of other winners too, Bosa. So yes, these are the salad choppers. My kids, we've used these for years. to shred chicken, or like I'm just taking the pulled pork and making it a little bit smaller. My oldest son, he was probably about 16. I have more than one pair of these. Check all this in. I have more than one pair of the salad choppers in a drawer, and I said, "Hey Jake, hand me those salad choppers. Where are they? They're in that drawer." He opens them up, literally looking right at them. And he's like, shrugging his shoulders, like, "Salad choppers?" I went over and grabbed them, and he goes, "Oh, the meat shredders," because that's what the boys knew that we used them for. These have a lifetime guarantee. What you find, sometimes the spring will rust a little bit. They'll replace them. They'll replace them. I throw these in the dishwasher. I actually have one pair over there that the spring is rusted, but the spring doesn't ever touch the food and it still works fine. So just an FYI, these are fantastic for a good chopped salad, but also for shredding or cutting your meats as well. Okay, so all I'm gonna do now, let me check my list, because sometimes when I'm cooking in front of people, I forget ingredients. And believe me, I have been known to do that often at cooking shows too, and I just say, I'm a pampered chef, not a perfect chef. And what I found is that a lot of times, I've never found a pampered chef recipe that doesn't work, even if you forget an ingredient. So that's kind of nice too. So I'm adding 4 cups of broth. The boxes are technically 4 cups, so I don't have to measure them out. I know this because for several times I would use this, and every time I empty the box, it was 4 cups. So now I just know one less dish to clean up. So I'm going to put my broth in there, and then I'm going to add my wild rice. I'm going to use our 1 cup measuring cup. This is a nice set if you're a baker. It comes with a little leveler as well. It goes from a 1/4 cup to a full cup. And these are dishwasher safe as well. I'm going to just pour off my rice. I'm not going to level it because we're not baking right now. I'm not patient enough to bake, so baking kind of makes me a little nervous. All right, so I'm going to just take this. We've got our broth in there for our liquid. Let me grab my lid. I'm going to stir this up a little bit here too. I wish you guys could smell this because it smells pretty good right now. All right, so with the pressure cooker, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the custom setting today, mainly because I got this off of the internet, right? Because we do have a soup and stock setting, but because the internet said 20 minutes, I'm just going to take, and if you notice, when I hit the custom, it automatically went to 30 minutes, and the recipe said 20 minutes, so I just hit the time, and I was able to adjust the time. So again, that custom setting, you can do basically whatever you want. And I'm going to hit the start. Now, a couple of things before we get going here. There is a pressure indicator, and when I say 20 minutes, it's not 20 minutes from now. So I promise I will post a picture of the finished product because we're likely not going to still be on here when it's done. But the nice thing about this is it lets you know, hey, I'm building pressure. That's what this little rectangle means. Hopefully it'll be under pressure before we get off. Usually it's anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes because we have the saute feature on, so it was already had some heat in there. It's probably going to help us in that respect because it's already got some heat. When you are doing frozen things or you don't have that saute on there at first, or that sear is what it's called here, but it might take a little longer. So just to let you know, it's kind of like when you put a pot on the stove to boil, it's not gonna like all of a sudden be boiling when you turn it on, right? Or when you preheat the oven, it takes a few minutes. So the same thing here. But right here is where that pressure indicator pops up and you know it's under pressure. And as soon as that happens, that's when you're gonna see numbers here. So we'll see that number 20 and it'll start counting down. And then this particular recipe, and I will post it tonight. I'm gonna kind of make it look a little prettier than my screenshots, but I will post it. And your consultant will be able to share it with you too. But if you're in our Soup, Stews, and Chilies event, you'll see it there as well. This is worth every single cent at the retail price for sure. but hosting a party is a great way to get it half price or even free, okay? So reach out to your consultant because January hosts can earn double free, which is pretty sweet, and then you can take and you can get this bad boy, like I said, for free or a half price. It's a great deal. And I know, like Dolly, I think this, oh, you got the air fryer and the blender. Oh, Dolly, you're in good shape. Okay, so once this gets to 0, once it starts counting down, it'll automatically start warming. And when it warms, it'll count up, which is nice too. And then when it does that, it starts a natural release. So the recipe calls for a natural release of 10 minutes. So then you just release the steam for the remainder of whatever's left. And sometimes when you do a natural release, then there's not a whole lot of steam that comes out at the end, okay? So with that said, I hear my one son coming home. Oh, you guys, I even looked at my list. I forgot my mushrooms. There we go. Shall I open it up and stick them in? Okay, Paul's like, I'm eating this soup. We're gonna stop it. There we go. Pampered, not perfect. So if you do forget an ingredient and it's not under pressure yet, go ahead and start over. If y'all saw, well, you might have seen his face if you had his face. He's like, yeah, go ahead and put it in. All right, so there we go. So what I started to say when I noticed my bowl of mushrooms, my one son is at practice, or was at basketball practice, and he had requested tortellini. So in our soup, stews, and chilies theme, I do want to mention this Dutch oven. I know this is relatively new. It just came out in the fall, but does anybody have this beautiful piece? Has these little ripples here that kind of rain back down that moisture. So if you're doing a pot roast or something in the oven, it's really, really, really good for that. But what we did, and this is my first cast iron pan like this. I've had the flat ones, more the skillets, but I swear this comes to a boil faster than any other pan that we have. Like, and Paul even, when we were boiling the water for the tortellini, he's like, do you hear that? Like it sounded like it was boiling, even though it wasn't really boiling yet, but it very, very fast. And these are the tortellini, like the refrigerated tortellini, 4 minutes, literally. But in the theme of soup, stews, and chilies, this is a great pot for chili. You get the chili going, you have it simmering all day, you can just have it sitting there, and it's pretty. It's so pretty, I pretty much leave it sitting on my stove all the time because it looks nice. So let me put that back over here and pull this bad boy out. This is going to be our dessert for tonight. Now I'm going to kind of clear off my space a little bit here. This is our stainless steel non-stick wok. And the nice thing about this, first of all, is it's very durable. Second of all, it's very large. This was a great stir-fry pan. You can do all kinds of things in this pan, all kinds of pasta dishes. It's just so big. It's got the 12-inch diameter. We've got 2 other sizes over there by the celery of our stainless steel non-stick pans, more the skillets. There's a 10-inch and a 12-inch. The lid for the 12-inch is the same lid. It's the same size lid as the wok, so it's kind of nice, interchangeable that way. These have a lifetime guarantee. They have the durability of stainless steel, but the non-stick coating is beautiful. So I'm going to show you that in a minute once I get that cake out. So this is the largest of our silicone prep bowls, okay? There's 3 different sizes. What I have in here now is I have some caramel sauce. And let me show you these other 2 sizes. There's a small one, 1 cup, 2 cup, 3 cup. They're all dishwasher safe. They're all freezer and refrigerator safe and microwave safe and even oven safe, okay? I love these, and especially for what I'm doing today. I did buy ingredients too for almond bark, for like a peppermint almond bark that I'll be doing, which is yummy. And when you're melting chocolates, it's nice. And when you're pouring off the chocolate, it's nice because it's got this little pour spout here too. So now what I'm going to do, I heated up my caramel. Now I'm just pouring in chocolate chips. Is anybody's mouth watering? My chat guy left the room. I think so let's see. Okay, I love this. I love this. Oh, I love that you're sharing. Oh, look, pro tip. That's Paul. Paul's sharing some tips. Gotta love it. I love him. Okay, so all I'm doing is I took our chocolate chips. I'm gonna put this in the microwave a little bit longer. Chocolate is one of those things you don't want to microwave too long because it can burn. And then if you have chocolate that burns, it doesn't spread as smoothly, right? So I'm going to put this in just for another little bit. Now, this happens to be just a Duncan Hines cake mix, okay? If you who likes to bake? Comment if you're the baker. If you like to do things from scratch, comment. Let me know. Ooh, it didn't come off quite in the center, but look at that. Now, I mentioned the coconut oil. All I didn't even melt the coconut oil. I just took my little silicone brush and I put this down in my hard thing of coconut oil, and then I just did this around the edge. So, and then I melted some off. But the nice thing about, see these little openings? Looks like it's kind of blurry. These little openings, that is one where when you are doing like a stir fry or you're doing meats, scoot that over a little bit. You're doing meats on your pan, the fond will settle in there. So you'll have the fond that helps you create a delicious pan sauce when you're doing your meats, okay? Now, I will say, Karen, I just had this conversation. My 15-year-old loves the 10-inch pan to do his eggs in. And Carrie was like, the eggs kind of stick. And it's one of those things where there is a film that kind of does stick to the bottom. My dog that you just saw walk by, she loves that little film because we tend to put that in her dish when we're done with eggs. But Paul the other day was doing it, and when you're doing a lot of eggs, like sometimes there have been times we do 18 at a time, like if we're doing breakfast burritos and the whole family's here. And that wok is perfect for doing that, or even a 12-inch flat one, we've done it before too. So it is great. And Paul did say it's not his favorite pan to do eggs in, but they're, like I said, besides that film, they're fluffy and beautiful eggs, right? So here's my other food chopper. I don't know if y'all noticed, but when I did the onion, if I do any vegetables or onions or things like that, ooh, I think opening again. It didn't get like securely down. Okay, that pressure indicator just went up. I was starting to hear some steam. Did you guys hear that or see that? And I just kind of pushed down a little bit and the pressure indicator come up. So it should be starting to count down here soon. But when I'm doing any kind of vegetable or any big amount of anything, I like to put my food on a cutting board. You can put your food and chop your food right into this little cap. I rarely chop in my cap. The only thing I really chop in the cap is nuts. They stay contained, right? And I just wanted them pretty fine. So I got them pretty fine with just those few rounds of chopping. And then I like to take this off, and then I can just pour my nuts from here, from the collar. So it kind of makes that a little bit easier too. All right. So this is called turtle fudge skillet cake. If you haven't figured that out with the chocolate and the caramel and the pecans. So the nice thing about this, I'm just going to kind of pour this right here in the center. And there's some chunkies from the, here, let me, here, just,
There you go.
okay, can you move that down without scooting the thing? There we go, like that. There, just move this there. But what, is it not working right? Okay, so isn't that pretty? So pretty, and this smells good too. I don't know y'all, but this smells pretty yummy. And you could make it go all the way down. I kind of like the way it looks with it kind of drizzling down and pretty on the plate. And then somebody's gonna have to eat this. Maybe we'll have to get some ice cream. I think we have ice cream left from birthday cake or birthday celebration. Paul had a birthday this week. Everybody tell Paul happy birthday. He's making a face. Okay, so I'm gonna scoot this over this way a little bit. Well, so I feel like it's weird because it's,
Yep.
okay. All right, what do you guys think? Okay, so what are some traditions do you guys have? I know we talked about food. Do you guys have any fun like Christmas traditions that you do? You can unmute if you want and chat. Or are they saying something? So
That's fantastic.
one of our traditions is we do a birthday cake for Jesus every year. And yes, our youngest is 15 and our oldest is almost 24. And I think they still really like it because basically my 24-year-old even's like, hey mom, I think I'm gonna spend the night on Christmas Eve, okay? And I said, you don't want to miss the birthday cake for Jesus, do you? And he kind of laughed and said, of course not. And it's one of those things where I think, I don't know, I can't see everybody on here, but if you've got little kids, start a tradition. And even if you have big kids, start one now, right? But that is one of those memories that I will have, and it really kind of melted my heart a little bit when he wanted to spend the night on Christmas Eve, even though he just lives like 20 minutes away. Because we put a blanket out on the floor, and we have cake for breakfast, and we have candles in them, and we sing happy birthday to Jesus, and one of the boys reads the Christmas story. It's just our tradition, our way to kind of start the morning, and we do that upstairs before anybody comes downstairs, except Polly gets his coffee, and I get my diet pop, and we, mom and dad need some caffeine before we start the day.
Before we start that.
Especially with 4 boys, because there are times that tradition's like, you're ready to wring somebody's neck. But no, it really is a beautiful memory. So anyway, that's one of our traditions. Any other traditions? Anybody share any
Cookies for
traditions?
Santa.
Cookies for Santa, super fun. Does anybody do the reindeer tracks? Is that what are those? Or glitter? Some people do glitter like on, the ground, and so then the kids can kind of go out there and see that. Moose Munch, yum. Sounds good. So yeah, so this is a very super good cake. And like I said, this is just Duncan Hines, Devil's Food. But if you are like a baker and have a delicious like chocolate recipe that you want to do, you can totally do that too. You do have to bake it a little longer. I just baked it. I used the bundt cake timing because it is a little thicker. So you want to make sure you have that. So. Any other questions? Was this fun? Did you guys like this? You feel like you got a little tip? And I'll definitely post, oh, see, it's counting down. So we are on the countdown. I don't know if y'all can see that from the screen, but oh, there we go. Another benefit is our handles are on the bottom. So it makes it a little secure. I know some of the other ones on the market, the handle's on the top, on the lid. And I think that's one reason I never even had the desire to buy one, is because I would see people post like kitchen disasters with their pressure cookers, things spilling or exploding or whatever. It made me nervous. But anyway, couple things just to wrap up with. I hope you guys had fun. I think our teams will definitely be doing these type of events, even for our parties in the new year. So if you decide to host a party, reach out to your consultant, let them know. Again, double free. Hosts can earn double free in January. The thing I didn't mention is every month there's a bonus buy for host too, an item that hosts can get at 60% off. And in January, it's our stainless steel nonstick collection. Now, I don't know if y'all realize, but cookware worldwide has been in a shortage, like worldwide, because of, it's 2020, so everything's weird in 2020, right? But definitely cookware is in a shortage, and our nonstick stainless, we have plenty of. The technology is amazing, and it is like no other. So these are a great pieces to add or to start a collection in January when you host a party. The other thing I do want to mention, and I was talking to a friend today, because I'll go live in my online community. Basically, as I'm making dinner for my family or making lunch for my family, I'll just quick put up my camera and video. So I'm doing live, but I'm also working at the same time, and it makes it nice. And you or somebody that you know, maybe looking for something fun to do, or maybe looking for an extra source of income, let us know. We actually have a group right now that is posting some information, and you can certainly, And you can certainly join that or reach out to your consultant. But like I don't think I mentioned this, but this month, Pampered Chef is, I can't tell, it looks a little blurry. Pampered Chef is offering new consultants an extra 30 days of our new consultant rewards. And any month that you would start your business, you have new consultant rewards for 90 days. It's a free website, chance to earn products and cash bonuses. The cool part about that is when you order your kit in December, you get an extra 30 days of free website, of cash bonuses, of product bonuses, and that's in addition to your commission. So reach out to your consultant if you are interested or know somebody who might be interested, because we would love to get them set up. All right. Are there any other questions? Anything that we missed?
I think so.
You guys want to unmute? I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, but thank you guys so much for joining us. I hope you had a great time, and we'll let you know when we do these again. Thanks again for joining.